with pretty much all the business, no, you want to be ahead of the game. And I mean, the first thing you need is to find a need and fill it. We are about $280,000 in debt. So people always want to lend you money when you have money. No, when you don't have money, nobody is going to lend you money when you don't need it.
What's the best part about the summer on the island? What would you say according to you?
Actually, it's almost the, can't wait until it's over so you can appreciate the fall and the winter.
Ah, right. So, would you say that you get some time to explore the beaches or like
Oh
take
yeah,
a time,
every
take
day.
some time? Okay.
Every day, yeah. In the mornings, I usually walk the beaches on the mornings, and also I walk the beach on the noon, no barefoot, to get vitamin D3 from the sun. Yeah,
Nice.
and year round actually. I go to the beach year round, but
Right.
I take about an hour, like half an hour in the morning, half an hour in the afternoon, and walk the beaches.
So, how do you manage everything? Like, manage your work, manage your life, like work-life balance, like working and managing so many businesses, but also taking some time out for yourself where you can unwind, be by the beach, have some good food, spend time with family. How do you manage all of that?
I think the number one thing is faith. You have to have faith in people, and have faith, that everything is going to work out. And a lot of times, doesn't matter how big is the challenge. I've been here for like 35 plus years,
Mm,
and we went through a lot of big challenges. And what I realized is that you always conquer them, and you get out of it stronger and wiser.
mm,
So it's just, you have good people working for you. And I have a lot of good people working for me, and having the faith that you did the best you could,
mm,
and knowing not only just the people that work with me, but also my partners and my suppliers, even my customers, they have my best interest in mind. So we know that I can go out and relax, and I
mm,
know that everything is going to work out. And also know that when I come back, from my walk on the beach or from my meditation that I do, or even like sometimes I go home and do like a half an hour sauna. And
mm.
I know I come back, especially a lot of time I'll be working, like I've been a grocer, and
Mm.
then like I'm kind of getting stuck, like can't like my mind is not going as fast as I like to, and so I just get up, walk, to the beach, and then walk back to work, and
Right.
and that walk usually helped me solve a lot of the challenges, that
Right?
I was
Yeah.
working on. And I come back, the brain is oxygenated, and you can get a lot more work done. So it's
Exactly.
it's not like taking time off. It's actually recharging and
Mm.
looking at things at different angles.
That's very well said. And like, especially when you say it like you're a very busy man, you have a lot of things going on. And I would say, especially in like the youth, the younger people, we think about like going the extra hour, just to maximizing your output. And like, we don't give that importance to recharging, to actually taking full responsibility of yourself and taking the time out to recharge. So especially when you say it, that means a lot. So thanks so much for sharing that with me. And you were speaking about the obstacles that you faced when you first moved here. Would you like to elaborate about a few experiences, about a few incidents where you felt like, oh, this is difficult?
Yeah. So the first obstacle was definitely the language, and but I was lucky enough to understand it. That nothing mattered if I couldn't communicate. And I think that's like, even today, that's the biggest challenge of the world in general, is the miscommunications, between people, between families, communities, countries. And a lot of times, when you can communicate, you get war, you get like bad neighbors, you get like a lot of stuff that we have today. There's like the problems is because we can communicate. And especially being somebody from a different ethnicity, it was very important for me. I could not assume that I was going to do this because I'll be doing something good. Because a lot of times, something that might be proper, for the way I grew up, might not be proper for the community or where I'm at, or my friends for that time. So that was like the very first, and I really like immersed myself into the language. I mean, I'll say within uh, like 6 months, I could communicate in a way that I felt that I could understand and make myself understood. And from there, I just kept on working on it until like 2 years later, I'll be like waking up and remembering like the dreams in English instead of in Portuguese. And
Yeah.
but I mean, I did went into like fast. I always tell people that like me, no matter what language you want to learn, the number one thing you need to do, you need to fast on your native language, because you have to. I mean, you can't like be talking to your friends in English and trying to learn Spanish. I mean,
Mm.
you really, the best thing to do, just associate yourself with Spanish speaking people, and just like forget about English, for like 6 months, and that'll be like the best way to learn, because that's how I learned. Yeah, but that was like the very first challenge, was the language, and I understood it. I worked at it, and because I did work at it, and also, I mean, the one thing I did to help me learn English was I started to volunteer, like Habitat for Humanity, like different, like beach cleanup, like everything I could find, that I could be around the language. I did. I mean, I was never at home with friends that spoke Portuguese. If I wasn't working, no, I was always doing something around the community that let me be with people, that had a good heart. Because
Right.
and that's the greatest thing too. Because when you like volunteering, there's people that understands that we all human,
Right.
and there's
Right.
like
Right. Right.
yeah. So it's sometimes, depending where you are, people are very prejudiced,
True.
and because of the places I decided to be, it was people that actually received me with a very warm heart, and it made my life. I mean it. I mean, I hear a lot of people saying, like discrimination or this and that. The only time I had one lady saying something that sounded a little bit discriminating, but I didn't care. I mean, totally like didn't care. This was like 10 years ago. I was at the line of steamship, and there was a guy in front of me that I didn't speak English, so I was talking to him in Portuguese, and the lady behind us said in English like, "Oh, these immigrants, they come here and never learn the language." And
Mm.
so I turned to her and say, "No, I do speak English, and I speak Portuguese, I speak Spanish,
Right.
and how many languages do you speak?"
Mm.
And sometimes, the racism is because people cannot dialogue, and and a lot of times, I do put in as our own fault, but not
Yeah.
helping, uh, the assimilation of our culture. Because I think the first thing, like if somebody comes to my house, no, they have to uh, obey by the rules of my house.
Right.
I love to to also experience the culture, but I mean, my culture has to be respected first.
I assume, or like this is what I get, is that like you have your day like planned, right? Like you know what you're gonna do, what's the next assignment, what's the next thing that you are gonna do, where is your time gonna be used.
Yeah. So I mean, I don't have the luxury of planning my whole day,
Hmm.
but what I can plan is before the business start. Like I get up at 3:30, 3 o'clock in the morning. I do a meditation, I do sauna, exercise, actually a cold shower, and then I usually out of the house by 5 in the morning, and then I go to the store and I go through the stuff that I have to do, like this my priorities until about like 6 o'clock or so. Uh, then I kind of start my day on the stores, like at the Vineyard grocery at 6. No, the bakery opens at 6:30. So usually I have stuff to do, with the managers. But usually after 8 o'clock, I try to I choose like, as right now I'm actually running about 15 different business, and usually I spend a couple days on different ones throughout the week, and alternate. Like I spend about 2 3 days off island with the business off island, and over here, there's some business that's running really really well. Then I spend no time on that, and those I have my wife that helps me as well. That
Hmm.
when she decides to do any of the business, no, then I don't have to worry about that.
Hmm.
And but in general, my days are pretty free,
Mm.
and I just help my managers, to come up with solutions for stuff that are needed. And then I'll have
Mm.
meetings, throughout the day. We have like 3 or 4 meetings throughout the day. But in general, I try to leave my day pretty open
Mm.
because I usually know my main goal is how can I improve the business. So I'll
Mm.
go around the business and I watch and I try to understand, what can I do to improve the customer service,
Mm.
mainly.
What's the thing that you've learned? Like, what is that one thing that people are looking for in services and businesses on the island that you want to improve upon in your businesses?
Yeah, so with pretty much all the business, you want to be ahead of the game. Like for the Vineyard grocer, like right now, gluten-free is huge. Also organic, local grown. I mean, that's why we bought the farm. We bought the farm back in March, 74 acres, because that's what people looking for, stuff that's grown locally, food security and and so forth. And now with the restaurant, we start to work with farm to table and to
Mm.
bring stuff from the farm, to the restaurant.
Yeah.
And but no, it's also, I mean, food security, because the more you can grow locally, you don't depend of stuff coming from California, China,
Yeah.
like all like Mexico, all different places. And the funny thing is that people say that, oh, but it's so cold here, you cannot grow anything in the
Mm.
winter. And then I ask them, look at like in February, look at your peppers, your cucumbers, your lettuce, your tomatoes. It's coming from Canada. No, we're like zone 7. Most Canada is like zone 5,
Right.
so they're much colder than we are,
Right.
and we actually importing stuff from Canada. And so I mean, you can grow it, but it's not easy.
Mm.
And that's the funny thing to always told people, like I prefer to do the things that are not easy
Mm.
because less people gonna be doing it.
That's very well
Yeah,
said.
so and then as long as you is strong enough, to get it done, if you put in the time. I mean, it does. I mean, I do work more than I should, but the challenge is that I never really work a day in my life because everything I do, I love.
Mm.
So when you do something that you love, you're not really working. I mean, I get out of the house at 5 o'clock in the morning, uh, very willing and happily because I love what I do.
Mm.
So and I mean, that's one of the things about longevity too, because I mean, as long as you're
Yeah.
doing what you like and keep your mind busy, you have a
Right.
better chance to have a long life.
So if we talk about your businesses and how you started when you first got here to the island, uh, how did you start your first business? Because starting the first business is like a huge challenge, is what I assume, and like you have to, and especially as an immigrant on the island, you need to, because uh, the rules are the rules like different for immigrants as compared to nationals?
No,
So anyone can start a business on the island.
yes.
Okay. So what were the challenges that you faced while starting your first business? And what was that business?
Yeah, so I mean, I wasn't, and that's the funny thing about all my business. I never really said I'm going to start a business.
Mm.
It kind of just happened. Like I remember, like when I was in Boston, um, I worked 6 days a week at a restaurant, and I had the day off, and I was trying to figure out what to do, because I was learning English, and I didn't want to be around people, and so they had this food donation, and I went to help, like doing the bags of food and stuff like that. And I was there. The lady asked me if I knew anybody that could help, clean her apartment. Like was a couple blocks away from where I work,
Mm.
and so I took that job, cleaning her apartment. And within 3 weeks, I was cleaning 4 apartments. So I kind of had like a cleaning business,
Right.
and it was very formal. I mean, just like I used to work at the restaurant 60 hours, and I would do like another 30 hours,
Mm.
like going after work and before work and cleaning,
Mm.
those apartments around the Boston Commons.
Mm.
And but then I came here for vacation, and I decided to stay. And so I passed on the apartments to a friend of mine, Angela. They used to work with me. Then when I came here, I was working for a landscaper, and then I took over his business, and then I started working at Ocean View Restaurant. And then I met Ed Chara, and we started. He was doing a farm stand, and next thing you know, I became his partner. And then he went to do real estate and construction, and so I stayed with the farm stand. and from the farm stand grew to a coffee roasting, to a butcher shop, and then grew to vineyard grocer.
Mm.
And then the restaurant at Vineyard Grocer, we had a really good pastry chef, so we did a lot of wedding cakes and birthday cakes. And so
Mm.
the restaurant, Bobby B's, and the ice cream place Barney's was up for sale. And the cakes we made was too beautiful to be at the grocery store.
Mm.
So we actually took over the restaurant and the ice cream shop and turned it into a French bakery,
Mm.
where we have today, like we get croissants and bread from Maison Villette, like a very famous French bakery in Falmouth that we sell at Delicious MV and Main Street. And then we make our own bread for the grocery store, and then we used to have a bakery downstairs, and that was kind of small, and also our business was growing, and the store is only like 1,800 square feet, so there's not
Mm.
enough room to sell everything out of there to store stuff. So one day you say, okay, we need a storage off island, and so we're looking for like 4,000 square feet, to store our products off island, so we can bring it to the island.
Mhm.
And next thing you know, I bought a 41,000 square foot factory. And
Mm.
because we had that, we start producing the bread. Now we distribute bread to like 100 something
Mm.
bakeries off island, and plus we make our own bread. And then I met this guy, that worked 20 years making acai, and I love acai because of the nutritional values and so forth. And so he proposed the business, and so we started that business like 6 months ago. And now we just spent $300,000 in equipment to make acai. And since we make an acai, the same machine makes ice cream that which we already make for Barney's ice cream in Main Street, Vineyard Haven. But now we started making like 400 pounds a day. We'll be able to make 20 tons a day, so like
Mm.
80,000 pounds a day. So
Mm.
so I mean things kind of evolved, and basically the way I look as a criteria for a business, is finding a need and feeling like with the acai. Most of the acai that no, actually all the acai they buy in New England today comes from Brazil, and they
Mm.
make it at like inland. You have to ship it to the port, and then this is all frozen. Then it has to travel over the ocean over here, and then it gets sent someplace else, stored. By the time you get it, it's freezer burn. And also
Mm.
they put in a lot of preservatives and stuff to make the acai hold.
Mm.
And most people that eat like an acai bought at the store, and then they try the acai like at Bobby B's, they said, "Oh, this is not the same. I mean, this is not. It's a different product because it's fresh, and because we bring the pulp from the Amazon, and then we make the acai on a
Mm.
daily basis,
Mm.
and so it's fresh, and
Mm.
so it's so I mean, when the guy, I mean, there's people come to with me with business ideas, 3 5 times every week, and most of them is like it's just like something that's not filling a need. No, they're just looking for a way to make money.
Mm.
And I mean, the first thing you need is to find a need and fill it, and
Mm.
then you make money. But what people don't understand is that I mean, if you open a business, like when I first opened this very farm market,
Mm.
I still worked at the 2 restaurants
Mm.
for over 2 years until the farm stand was up and running. Like the business I started like last year and this year, I mean, they're all being fed by the business that I started 30 plus years ago.
Mm.
Because I mean, you don't start a business and make money. Like the guy that promoted me the acai business, his business plan showed us making money in a month three, and
Mm.
so far uh, we are about $280,000 in debt.
So how do you deal with that? Like when you know that like there's so much resting on your shoulders, and like you know, I mean, like you hope that like you recover the debt, but you still like have the debt right now, and you are like hoping that the business works, and you're doing everything that you can. Would you be able to walk me through the mindset that you have to get through that?
Yeah, I mean, so one of the main things, you need to have access to cash.
Mm.
And the nice thing about it, when you have a successful business and you have like money on the bank, banks always coming to you and say, "Oh, borrow $500,000, borrow $1 million." So people always want to lend you money
Mm.
when you have money.
Mm.
When you don't have money, nobody is going to lend you money when you don't need it. So I always kind of secure money before I need it, and
Mm.
I always have access to money, before I need it.
Hmm.
And usually, like I have money coming in, like it's because I mean one thing I need to do eventually is starting to uh, spend the money I'm making on myself, on travels and yachts and
Yeah.
like planes and stuff. I mean, I don't do any of that. I mean, like I do drive a Tesla because it was a tax write-off. But before the Tesla, I drove a Chevy van, no, a
Hmm.
Chevy Uplander, 250,000 miles, a 2008 van that was worth about like $1,000. No,
Hmm.
and I drove that for 12 years. And so I mean, I don't spend
Where,
money. I mean, like people that barely have, like they open a business, they start making some money. They buy a jet ski, they buy a boat. They buy this F like F-350 pickup truck, and
yeah.
so I mean, and I never did that. I mean,
So where do you spend your money? Like other than the businesses where you invest your money back in, where is it that you splurge money or like spend your money?
food is a big
Food.
thing for me. I mean, I never. I mean, I actually when I was that 19 years old. I had a meeting with this guy that he wanted to speak Portuguese because he spoke like 8 languages. So he took me to Legal Seafood. It's still one of my favorite restaurants I'll find it because it was a very nice time. And so we got there and he said, Elio, I wanted to learn one thing. Uh, have the mindset whenever you walk into a restaurant, you never order from the right column.
Hmm. Why is that?
So when you look at menu,
Mm-hmm.
what on the left, you got what
The
it is.
food, yeah, and then right is the price.
Yes.
Yeah.
So never order from the right column.
What if you're on a tight budget?
That's a mindset.
Okay.
If you're gonna go eat, I mean, and I did. I mean, so I mean, I was working making back then. I was making probably like $9 an hour. I was just
Hmm.
starting,
Hmm.
and I mean, like from I mean, what I did right after that. Every time I go into a restaurant, if it's like I just ate at La Cucina, um, Solamare in Main Street, Palma,
Yeah.
amazing restaurant.
Yeah.
I sat down, and me, my wife, and my daughter. And so the guy came in, told me the specials, and asked him a couple questions, and also I believe in making decisions.
Hmm.
And so I told him I'm gonna have the lamb,
Hmm.
and then he goes, "Oh, that's 40." I said, "I didn't ask you the price." No, it's like, is it? I mean, since but I didn't used to go to a no, that type of restaurant. But I mean, every time I eat, right after that, because that's what Dr. Joe Dispenza teaches, is that is a mindset. I mean, and your
Hmm.
mind doesn't know what you thought and what was real,
Hmm.
and that's why I finish my day with a meditation and I start my day with a meditation.
What does the future of your businesses look like for you? What kind of businesses do you plan to acquire in the future? What kind of businesses do you want to start? Where do you see yourself going in the next 5 to 10 years?
So, okay, so my business, what I see with them is more profit sharing, with managers and employees. So I don't have to be at the business. No, we have a saying that is the eye of the owner of the cow that fattens the cow.
Hmm. Would
No,
you be able to explain?
yes. So if you have a like the owner of a business is always gonna do the best for the business.
Hmm.
And if I have somebody that's like a manager that's profit sharing, he's gonna be has an interest on that business. The more money
Hmm.
the business makes, the more money he makes. So he's be kind of like of an owner. And same thing, with profit sharing with employees. They're gonna be looking at the business as an owner, and they say that the eye of the owner that fattens the cow. And so, in
Hmm.
the way in the business I have about 100 different business lined up, for the next like 97 years, because I am going to retire of like like of the corporations I have today are going to be retiring from them, but they're going to be providing me money so I can do the things like I want to do, like water safety, all over the world, sanitation, education, reforestation. So there's all the things I want to work with, and I have very novel ideas. I don't want to do what Bill Gates and everybody's doing right now. I wanted to figure out different ways that I can, like in Brazil, there's a lot of ghettos that people left the farms and went to the city and then never worked out. So I want to take those people and bring them back, to the farms, so they can have like a decent life, and do education for their kids, and teach them the mindset I have today. I mean, I finished 8th grade, and there's nothing that I did that nobody else can do. And so and I mean, and I think with my experience, and with my life, my life that I lived, anybody that listened to, I mean, and actually there's a couple phrases that I really like. The only way to fail is to give up. I mean, that's like one of like the ones phrase I really really like. And the other one I like is, what you do is speak so loudly that what you say I cannot hear. So I mean, and that's pretty much, I mean, like it's and so I mean, but I do, I mean, I do see myself. I don't want to like to start any more business just for the sake of starting another business. Even though the ice cream business, we're still gonna work more on that. And besides the 74 acres, there's another 100 acres of farm that I want to acquire so I can raise my own beef, so get grass raised beef and so forth. So there's expansions that I wanted to do, but I really not looking forward like to do more corporations for profit. Mostly I wanted to work on different areas of the world, to better communities, where I know I can make a difference. Because there's another phrase that I really like: to whom most going to be given, most going to be required.
All right, Elio, thank you so much for speaking with the Martha's Vineyard Times and sharing your valuable insights with me. It was truly a pleasure speaking with you, and I hope you have an amazing day.
Very good.
Thank you so much.
You're very welcome.